por una cuestión histórica, por una cuestión del momento.
Tuvieron un espacio para que tuviéramos
de confianza.
As you know, the first World Summit of Afro-Descendants took place about 1 month ago in Ceiba, Honduras, under the direction of Dr. Celio Alvarez, who will be joining us shortly. And I was going to take this time, well, I am going to take this time to publicly congratulate him, although he's not here, for having just been awarded an honorary doctorate from the University of Chile for his work around development of Afro-descendant communities in Latin America. So when you see him, when he arrives, please congratulate him for that wonderful honor. I'm just going to give you a brief kind of summit by the numbers of what happened in Honduras last month. It was a smashing success. The organizers expected 600 participants, more or less, and about 1,300 showed up. So that was quite impressive. We had the honor of having the President of Honduras, the President of Guatemala, the Vice President of Costa Rica, and many other high-level officials from Honduras and other countries at the inauguration, and throughout a lot of the summit. They stayed on as well, so that was very nice. The summit was covered extensively by the press, both national and international press. I was interviewed by the BBC for broadcast to the African continent, so there was wide-ranging coverage of the summit, so hopefully a lot of information got out to people around the world. Actually, in my next numbers I will demonstrate exactly how that message was distributed. The most impressive fact to come out of the summit, the most impressive number, is that the Pan American Health Organization, which was one of our strongest partners, streamed the summit online, live, most every session and the inauguration of the summit. And we are told that approximately 1 million people logged on to view the inaugural session of the summit, and on at least one, although I'm sure more, one session on health issues, about more than 45,000 people logged on to view. Previously, PAHO had the record number of people logging on to view anything live streamed on their website was about 50. And I don't mean 50,000, I mean 50. And so we're incredibly impressed that these are the numbers that came out of this summit. So the message got out, obviously. We're very happy about that. And so now we're just looking to capitalize on the success of the summit, and we're using that momentum to propel us forward in preparation for the next summit, which you'll hear about a little bit later. But for now, I'd like to introduce you to President Phelps Stokes, who will offer some opening remarks. Dr. D. Foster, President of Phelps Stokes.
Why was Phelps Stokes created? Well, it was created largely because a vision of how to promote racial harmony and general improvement of welfare of those people who've been excluded, largely because of race, but probably also class. So Phelps Stokes started working with descendants of slaves in the south of the United States and with American Indian students, and eventually that took us to our work in Africa and the Caribbean. We've learned a number of things. The most important thing is that without unity and harmony, it collapses. And so one has to constantly look for ways of reweaving relationships so that you have unity and harmony. The landscape of history is littered with failed efforts, broken relationships, and heartache because we did not pay attention to unity and harmony. And that means paying attention to those transcendent values, that vision, that noble idea that causes us to come together. Instead, we get locked into process. And you can see this played out clearly here in Washington and American politics. The false premise that truth and that progress comes from the clash of personalities and partisanship. It just does not work, cannot sustain itself. It is true that the spark of truth comes from the clash of arguments. I didn't say the clash of people, the clash of arguments. So there must always be an opportunity to find a place to have discussions in which we can exchange ideas and collectively search for the truth that will allow us to achieve our ultimate goal, the noble idea. So, when I was approached by Tonija and Ceiba, I guess back in March or earlier this year, what could Phelps Stokes do to help? And, we gave away all the money. But I learned from other people that there are some people who are so poor, all they have is money. Hello. That comes from a peasant fisherman on the Pacific coast of Colombia. When he told me that, I thought I'd missed something in translation. The more I thought about it, profound. So basically, as we heard about the vision of Odeco and the celebration, and as we were disappointed to learn that the United Nations never allocated any money to support the celebration, the question then was, so what do we do? Do we whine? Do we complain? And do we have our feelings hurt, or do we do something? And through Odeco and other people, they met. All we did is we provided the space, we lent our name, okay? And you can see the conclusion. Now, what happened there in Honduras, my friend, is historic. I don't fully understand why 1 million people would want to log in. And that tells you that there was a message, there was a time, there's a connection that people are looking for. I think the rest of us need to figure out what that is and how to build on it. Always promoting unity and harmony. Because if I were to take this thing down, I only have to do two things. First of all, to pit a couple of personalities. Okay. And then secondly, put a little bit of money on the table. And I know my people. We will take it apart. So we're here at Phelps Stokes to figure out a way in which we can make a very small contribution. We are nonpartisan. We're nonpartisan for the reason that I said we're trying to promote unity and harmony. We're concerned about the overall goal of social progress, the reduction of alienation and mistreatment. So, to the extent that Phelps Stokes can find an expression of its mission in what you do, then this is what we should be doing. So therefore, people come up to me and say, well, thank you for your support. And I say, I'm translated from another language. But they're thanking me for what I'm supposed to be doing. So the expression in Arabic is, La shukran ala wajib. There's no thanks for an obligation. You're supposed to be doing this. So, anyway, it's in that spirit that you should know that Phelps Stokes is here. We'll be signing an agreement, sort of ceremony and when Ceiba gets here. But it's more than simply a symbolic gesture. I think it represents for Phelps Stokes, as we enter our second century, this is the new door. We can continue the work that we've done in Africa and the Caribbean, but now we have new friends and new challenges, and if we can work together, by the time the third century comes along, somebody will be standing up here or on your wristwatch and telling you of the wonderful things you've done collectively. Well, as you can see, I can go on and on and on. So I'm going to turn this back over to Tonija. You should know that Tonija's father is here. And and here comes her mother. The fruit does not fall far from the tree. So when Tonija was in college, she picked up a bumper sticker, I'm told, that said something to the effect of, what does it say, energy? By Congressman, no? Yeah. So you can see, where did she learn that? She didn't learn that in school, she learned that at home. So anyway, she is our leader, and I'm very proud to be associated with her. Thank you.
I've just received word that folks from New York are stuck in some horrible traffic, so it's going to be a little while. So